Warm wishes to one and all. Today in this class we are going to see about the topic flipped learning. Less sit and listen equal do and learn, and the flipped model is making class time more enjoyable, productive and engaging for students and teachers. One of the most exciting advancements in the modern classroom is flipped learning. It hinges on the idea that students learn more effectively by using class time for small group activities and individual attention. Teachers then assign students lecture materials and presentation to be viewed at home or outside of the classroom day, prioritizing active learning. Let us see about the definition of the term flipped learning. Flipped learning is a pedagogical approach in which direct instruction moves from the group learning space to the individual learning space, and the resulting group space is transformed into a dynamic, interactive learning environment where the educators guide students as they apply concept and engage creatively in the subject matter. Let us now see what are the four pillars of the flipped learning. The first one is flexible environment. Flipped learning allows for a variety of learning modes. Educators often physically rearrange their learning spaces to accommodate a lesson or unit to support their group work or independent study. The second pillar is learning culture. In the traditional teacher centered model, the teacher is the primary source of information. By contrast, the flipped learning model deliberately shifts instruction to a learner centered approach where in class time is dedicated to exploring topics in great depth and creating rich learning opportunities. The third pillar is the intentional content. Flipped learning educators continually think about how they can use the flipped learning model to help students develop conceptual understanding as well as procedural fluency. They determine what they need to teach and what material students should explore on their own. The fourth pillar is professional educators. The role of a professional educator is even more important and often more demanding in a flipped classroom than in a traditional one. During class time, they continually observe their students, providing them with feedback relevant in the moment and assessing their work. Flipped learning more effective than lecture based learning. Students in flipped classroom perform better than those in traditionally taught classes across all of the academic outcomes we examine. In addition to confirming that flipped learning has a positive impact on foundational knowledge, that is the most common outcome is peer review of the research, we found that flipped pedagogies had a modest positive effect on higher order thinking. How can we design an effective flipped course? When designing a flipped course, the conventional wisdom has been that instructors should use pre-class quizzes and assignments to ensure that students are prepared to participate in and benefit from the flipped class period. This suggests that to hold students accountable to pre-class preparation, instructors should consider using in-class quizzes and assessments rather than pre-class assignments. Given the time and skill required to design effective flipped class sessions, partially flipped courses may be easier for instructor to implement successfully, particularly when they are new to the pedagogy. Let us see about the benefits or advantages of flipped classroom. First advantage is students have more control. There are many advantages of a flipped classroom. In a flipped classroom, it is possible for students to have increased input and control over their own learning. By providing short lectures at home, students are given the freedom to learn at their own pace. The second advantage is it promotes student-centered learning and collaboration. Flipped classroom allow class time to be used to master skills through collaborative projects and discussions. This encourages students to teach and learn concepts from each other with the guidance of their teacher. The third advantage is lesson and content are more accessible. By making video lectures available at all times online, students who are forced to miss class due to illness, sports activities, vacation or emergencies can catch up quickly. This also gives teachers more flexible when they themselves are sick and also eliminates makeup assignments. Next advantage is access, easier for parents to see what's going on. Unlike traditional classroom model, flipped classroom gives parents 24 by 7 access to their students' video lectures. This allows parents to be better prepared when attempting to help their students and give them insight into the quality of instruction their students are receiving. Next advantage is it can be more efficient. If done properly, in a flipped classroom, kids can have more time to be kids, whether that means more free time or more academic practice. As most of us can recall from our own experiences, a substantial amount of time is spent each week outside the classroom doing homework. As we discuss the advantages, let us discuss about what are the disadvantages of a flipped classroom. It can create a digital divide. One of the most prominent issues is the necessity for students to have access to a computer and internet in order to view the lectures. This is particularly hard on students from low income districts who already have limited access of resources. Next disadvantage is it relies on preparation and trust. There is also the concern that since flipped classroom are dependent on students' participation, one must trust students to watch the lectures at home. Unfortunately, there is no way to guarantee students will oblige or cooperate with the flipped model. Next disadvantage is there is significant work on the front end. Additionally, there is a concern that implementing a flipped classroom adds an extra workload on teachers as there are several elements that must be integrated carefully to allow the class to flourish. Next, disadvantage is not naturally a test preparation for form of learning. Whether you think this is a good or a bad thing is another conversation, but it is important to realize that flipped classroom do not teach to the test. Flipped classroom do not follow the model of teaching to improve standardized test score. The next disadvantage is time in front of screen instead of people and places is increased. There are some who believe that if every teacher starts flipping their classroom, students will spend hours in front of a computer watching the lectures. One may argue that this has the potential to cause serious problems to students' learning processes as not everyone may be as adept to learning through a computer. Some students with special needs may need extra support at home which might not always be available, and this is also one of the main disadvantage of the flipped classroom. Let us conclude the topic. Despite these issues, the flipped classroom can still a very effective hands-on approach to improve students' achievement and involving them in their own education. Thank you, one and all.